The Council's claim. The Great Chamber of the Galactic Council was silent at first. Hundreds of alien delegates sat inside the high dome, their scaled, feathered, or armored faces glowing under the white lights. The air smelled of burning incense, and the sound of distant engines vibrated the floor. In the middle of the chamber, a single platform rose. Upon it stood the human envoy. She was alone. One woman against hundreds. She wore a plain black uniform with the symbol of Earth on her chest, no guards, no aides. Only her voice carried the weight of an entire planet. The council speaker, a tall insectoid with crystal wings, raised its staff and shouted, "By decree of the Galactic Council, the humans of Earth are hereby placed under authority. Their fleets will be limited, their colonies monitored, their decisions made by us. Humanity is now subject to the order of the galaxy." A roar of approval shook the chamber. Some delegates clapped their claws, some pounded their tails on the ground, others hissed in triumph. They believed the matter was settled. Humanity, the young race, the noisy race, would finally bow. The human envoy did not speak at first. She only looked at them, slowly, carefully. Her dark eyes moved from one side of the chamber to the other. The silence of her gaze made several aliens uncomfortable. They shifted in their seats, whispering to each other. The insectoid speaker leaned forward. "Do you accept the ruling?" The envoy finally stepped closer to the microphone. Her voice was calm, but her words cut through the air like steel. "We came to this council in good faith. We came as equals. We believed in your promise of cooperation, and now you claim authority over Earth?" The speaker slammed the staff on the ground. "You will obey. There is no choice." Laughter erupted from one side of the chamber. A reptilian delegate hissed, "Humans always resist, but now they have no power. Their little fleets are dust compared to ours." Another alien with a voice like broken glass added, "They are reckless children. They should be thankful we even let them live." The envoy tilted her head slightly. There was no anger on her face, no panic, only something colder, sharper, like a hidden blade waiting in the dark. She raised her hand, and the council chamber fell quiet again. "You misunderstand humanity," she said. We are not here to beg for mercy. We are not here to kneel. We are here to listen and to remember." A nervous buzz spread through the chamber. The speaker hissed loudly, "This is not a discussion. You are bound by law. Humanity has no place to challenge the will of the council." The envoy smiled, but it was not a friendly smile. "Law without respect is nothing but chains, and Earth does not wear chains." Gasps echoed across the room. Several delegates shouted in protest, their voices clashing together. The insectoid speaker banged its staff again and again, but the noise of outrage grew louder. The human envoys. Words had struck them like a blade. One delegate, a pale creature with glowing eyes, leaned forward and whispered, "She dares to defy us here? In the council chamber?" "Yes," another muttered. "And she is too calm. Too certain. What do the humans hide?" The envoy took one step back from the platform. She pressed a small device on her wrist. A blue hologram appeared in the air, a map of the galaxy. Tiny glowing dots scattered across it. At first the council thought it was only a display of stars, but then the dots began to move, forming lines, shifting positions. "These," the envoy said softly, "are not stars. They are our ships. They are already among you, near your borders, near your worlds, watching." The chamber froze. For a long second, no one spoke. The only sound was the low hum of the hologram. The envoy's voice grew harder. "Do not mistake patience for weakness. For years, humanity stayed silent. We hoped for peace. But if you force chains upon us, if you call yourselves masters over Earth, then remember this." She leaned close to the microphone. Her voice became a whisper, but every ear in the chamber caught the words, "Earth does not bow. Earth does not break." The hologram vanished. The envoy lowered her hand and turned away. She walked calmly off the platform, her boots echoing on the polished floor. Behind her, the council erupted into chaos. Some shouted for immediate sanctions. Others demanded proof of her words. Many, however, stayed silent, fear showing in their eyes. The insectoid speaker tried to restore order, but even its crystal wings trembled. The hall that had been filled with laughter only moments ago now carried something heavier: doubt. The human envoy paused at the great doorway before leaving. Without turning, she spoke one final sentence. "You wish to claim authority. Instead, you have claimed our attention, and that will be your undoing." The doors closed behind her with a heavy boom. The Galactic Council, for the first time in centuries, felt the cold taste of uncertainty. The message returns home, the human envoys. Words left the council chamber like a storm leaving behind silence. Her ship, a small diplomatic cruiser, cut through the void of space, carrying her back toward Earth. But she was not returning empty-handed. She carried the council's decree and her own warning. On Earth, the message was received in the capital city, where the high towers of glass reflected the evening sun. The Council of Nations gathered in a deep underground chamber, a room hidden beneath layers of steel and rock. Around a large circular table sat Earth's leaders, men and women with tired eyes, sharp voices, and heavy burdens. The envoys. Recording was played for them. The council speaker's voice echoed first. "Humanity is now subject to the order of the galaxy." Then came her reply. "Earth does not bow. Earth does not break." The room fell into silence. President Arun Patel of the United Earth government leaned forward, his hands pressed tightly together. So, they finally showed their hand. His voice was low but steady. Across from him, General Maria Alvarez, head of Earth Defense Command, let out a long breath. "We knew this day would come. We knew they would try to chain us. The question is, what do we do now?" Some leaders argued immediately. One shouted, "We must surrender. We cannot fight hundreds of alien fleets." Another slammed his fist on the table. "If we surrender, humanity dies slower, but it dies all the same." The room filled with overlapping voices, fear, anger, desperation. But in the chaos, the envoy herself stepped forward. She had not left after delivering the recording. She stood now at the center of the chamber, her black uniform sharp against the pale lights. "They believe we are weak," she said calmly. "They laugh at our fleets. They call us reckless children. But they do not know what Earth has built in the shadows." The leaders turned to her, some with surprise, some with suspicion. "What are you saying?" General Alvarez asked. The envoy pressed the same wrist device she had used in the council chamber. Again, the galaxy's hologram appeared, dots of blue light scattering across the stars. But this time, the hologram zoomed in. The blue dots sharpened into shapes, warships, thousands of them. Hidden far beyond the official maps, cloaked stations, silent carriers, entire fleets waiting in the dark. Gasps filled the room. This is impossible," whispered one of the ministers. "We don't have the resources. We don't have the industry for this." The envoy looked at him. "You only saw what was public, what was spoken in the open. Do you really think humanity stopped at what you could see? No. We prepared, quietly, patiently, for this very moment." General Alvarez's eyes narrowed, a slow smile forming on her lips. "The extermination protocol." The words hung in the air like thunder. The envoy nodded. "A contingency plan, started decades ago when humanity first joined the stars. We hoped we would never use it, but the Council's arrogance has left us no choice." President Patel raised a hand, his face pale. "Do you understand what you are saying? If we unleash this protocol, we risk total war. Billions could die, alien and human alike." The envoy's eyes were sharp as glass. "If we do nothing, we die anyway. At least this way, we decide how." The chamber grew silent again. The leaders stared at the hologram, watching the hidden fleets glow across the galaxy. Fear mixed with awe. For the first time, they realized that humanity's strength was not in numbers, nor in technology alone, but in patience. The patience to prepare in the shadows while the galaxy mocked them. Outside, In the skies above Earth, the first hints of mobilization began. Cargo ships rerouted. Civilian channels went silent. Military stations shifted to blackout mode. Across the solar system, the machinery of war woke from its long sleep. But among the people, rumors already spread. In the crowded streets of New Shanghai, citizens whispered, "The Council has claimed Earth." In the worker districts of Nairobi, someone replied, "Then Earth will show them what it means to claim the storm." The fear of chains was turning into fire of defiance. Back in the underground chamber, President Patel finally stood. His voice was steady now, carrying the weight of decision. "Then it is decided. We will not bow. We will not break. We will show the galaxy that Earth answers to no authority but its own." The leaders around the table rose with him, some with trembling hands, others with clenched fists. The envoy allowed herself a small smile. "Then the galaxy will soon learn the truth." A deep alarm sounded in the distance, echoing through the chamber walls. It was not the alarm of danger. It was the activation signal. The extermination protocol had begun to move from secret whispers into reality. The envoy turned to leave, her steps echoing. But before she reached the door, she paused and looked back at the leaders one last time. They thought the Council's words would bind us. Instead, their arrogance has freed us. The heavy doors slid shut behind her. Far above, in the cold night sky, the first hidden warship rose from Earth's shadow, its massive frame glowing, in the dark like a ghost waking from the grave, and in the galaxy beyond no one yet knew what storm was coming. The first Defiance. The Council wasted no time after the human envoy's defiance. From their capital world, a message was sent across the galaxy. Humanity had refused to obey, so a lesson must be taught. Within days, a fleet was assembled. 30 ships, drawn from 6 alien empires, armed with plasma cannons, shield generators, and guided missiles. These ships were not the Council's strongest, but they were more than enough. At least that is what the Council believed. The fleet arrived at the edge of Sol system. Their commander, a four-eyed reptilian named Drosk, stood on the bridge of his flagship, sneering. "Humans are loud but fragile," he told his crew. "We will strike their defenses, burn one of their colonies, and leave them crawling. Then they will learn to obey." But the humans were not caught sleeping. Deep inside the Kuiper Belt, hidden stations woke. Silent platforms powered on. Warships, black as the void, shifted out of their hiding places among the ice and rock. They had no banners, no signals, no lights. Only the cold, sharp design of a predator ready to strike. General Maria Alvarez stood on the bridge of the Iron Resolve, a Titan-class destroyer. Her voice was steady, but her eyes burned. "We will not destroy them outright. Not yet. We will send a message." Her officers nodded. Around her, holographic displays showed the incoming alien fleet. The aliens moved in a tight formation, confident, their weapons primed. "Target their engines," Alvarez ordered. "Leave them alive, but cripple them. Let the galaxy see what happens when you try to chain Earth." The human fleet moved silently, like shadows across the void. When the alien ships crossed the orbit of Neptune, the trap closed. A signal burst lit up space, Earth's fleet decloaking at once. Dozens of ships appeared around the Council's vessels, their hulls black and silver, their guns glowing with charged plasma. The alien commander Drosk snarled, his scales tightening in surprise. "Impossible. We scanned this system. There were no fleets." But before he could regroup, the humans fired, not at the hulls, not at the bridges, but at the engines. Precision strikes tore through the alien drives one by one. Explosions lit up the dark, but none of the ships were destroyed completely. Instead, they drifted helplessly, their weapons powerless, their systems jammed. On the Iron Resolve, General Alvarez watched calmly. "Status: 28 enemy ships disabled, 2 remain active. Bring them in close." The human destroyer surged forward, its shadow falling across the alien flagship. On Drosk's bridge, alarms screamed. His crew shouted, desperate to reroute power, but nothing worked. Every system flickered and died. Then a transmission came through. General Alvarez appeared as a hologram before Drosk, her face cold and unshaken. "This is Earth's first and final warning. You will leave our system now. You will not return." Drosk spat, his four eyes wide with fury. "You cannot threaten the Council. We are—" Her voice cut him off, sharp as a blade. "You are helpless. Look at your fleet. We could have destroyed you. Instead, we let you live. Take that mercy back to your masters. And tell them this. Earth bows to no one." The hologram vanished. Moments later, the human ships disengaged. Their weapons powered down, their engines turned away, and they melted back into the darkness of space. The alien fleet, crippled and humiliated, drifted in silence. Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. Council patrol fleet defeated without a single human loss. No ships destroyed, but everyone crippled. Every alien commander captured on camera, helpless before Earth's shadow fleet. In the Council's Great Hall, chaos reigned. Delegates shouted at one another. Some demanded immediate war, others whispered in fear. "If this was only their warning," one alien murmured, trembling, "then what is their real power?" Back on Earth, crowds gathered in the cities as the news broke. Screens showed alien ships drifting powerless, while human warships glowed like ghosts. The people cheered, their fear turning into fierce pride. Children waved Earth's flag in the streets. Old veterans smiled grimly, muttering, "At last they will know." In the command chamber beneath Earth, President Patel stood once more at the round table. "We sent our warning," he said quietly. "Now the galaxy knows we are not prey. But this is only the beginning. The Council will not forgive this humiliation. They will strike harder." General Alvarez nodded, "And when they do, they will find Earth waiting." The envoy standing in the corner said nothing. Her eyes stared at the hologram of drifting alien ships. She knew this was only the first move. The Council had tasted fear, but their pride would not allow surrender, and when they came back they would come with fire. The shadow of Earth, the humiliation of the Council fleet spread like wildfire. Every starport, every channel, every alien empire whispered the same words. The humans crippled them without firing a killing shot. For centuries, the Galactic Council had been the unshaken law. Their fleets enforced order. Their word carried weight. But now, a young race, fragile, underestimated, mocked, had stood against them and sent their warships home powerless. The council hall boiled with anger. Delegates shouted over each other. Some demanded a full invasion of Earth. Others urged caution. But pride was stronger than reason. The speaker slammed its crystal staff. "Humanity defies us. They think their little victory means power. We will crush them before their arrogance spreads." A new fleet was assembled. This time not 30 ships but hundreds. Warships from across the Council's allied races gathered, forming one of the largest task forces in recent memory. Its destination, the Sol system. But the humans were ready. High, above Earth, deep inside the orbit of Mars, a hidden command center watched silently. From there, encrypted signals spread through the void. Human fleets did not move openly. They did not challenge directly. Instead, they vanished into the shadows. Reports soon arrived across the galaxy. Council supply convoys disappeared without a trace. Patrol stations went dark. Entire mining colonies guarded by alien soldiers reported strange power failures before cutting communication entirely. In one distant sector, a convoy of 20 ships screamed into emergency channels. "Unknown contacts, they jammed our systems, The signal cut off. When a recovery team arrived, the convoy drifted in silence. No crew, no fight, just cold, dead ships floating in space. The whispers began. They are ghosts. They strike without warning. You never see them until it is too late. On the bridge of the Iron Resolve, General Maria Alvarez studied the growing list of incidents. Her officers reported calmly, their voices steady. Another convoy disabled, General. Council patrol lost near the Orion Spur. Alien. Outpost captured. No casualties. Alvarez folded her arms. Good. Leave survivors when possible. Let them spread fear. The envoy, standing at her side, spoke quietly. Fear is our greatest weapon. The council feeds on pride. Pride blinds them. Fear will tear them apart. Meanwhile, in the alien core worlds, unease spread among the citizens. Council propaganda declared victory was near, but the people whispered otherwise. Stories of unseen human fleets grew larger with every telling. They call it the shadow of Earth, one merchant whispered at a busy spaceport. A fleet that cannot be seen, only felt. A hand that reaches from the dark. A soldier, drunk and trembling, muttered to his comrades. I was there. We scanned 100 times, nothing. Then they appeared all around us. Black ships, silent. Our weapons didn't even fire before they shut us down. Fear was spreading, faster than the council could contain. Inside the council chamber, panic finally broke through arrogance. Delegates shouted, "How do they move unseen? How do they strike without warning? This is not possible." The speaker tried to restore order, but its crystal wings shook. For the first time, the council was not debating when they would defeat humanity, but if they could. Still, they pressed forward. The Grand Fleet, hundreds strong, finally entered the Sol system. Alien ships stretched across the dark like a steel storm. But instead of human fleets waiting in open battle, there was silence. No enemy to fire at, no signals on their scanners, only the empty cold of space. Drosk, the reptilian commander from the first failed fleet, now reinstated to redeem himself, growled in frustration. Where are they? Where are the humans? His crew checked again and again, but there was nothing. Then the lights dimmed. Across the alien ships, systems began to flicker. Shields dropped, weapons jammed, engines froze. Entire fleets staggered as if a shadow had fallen over them. And then, in the black distance, shapes began to appear. One by one, massive human warships emerged from the void. Their hulls reflected no light, their edges sharp and silent. It was as if the darkness itself had come alive. On every alien bridge, terror struck deep. The commanders realized the truth. The humans had not been defending Earth. They had been waiting, watching, surrounding them. General Alvarez's voice echoed across every alien channel at once. You came here to claim authority, but you will leave with fear. This is Earth's shadow. This is your warning. In the great cities of Earth, people gathered around massive screens. They watched as alien fleets, once symbols of power, floated helplessly, trapped by the human shadow fleets. Cheers roared through the streets. Fear turned to pride. On the Council's worlds, however, panic spread. Merchants refused to send ships. Soldiers deserted. Colonies begged for protection. The mighty Council was shaking. For the first time in history, the galaxy looked at Earth not with laughter, not with arrogance, but with dread, because the shadows were no longer far away. They were everywhere. Across the alien ships, systems began to flicker. Shields dropped, weapons jammed, engines froze. Entire fleets staggered as if a shadow had fallen over them. And then, in the black distance, shapes began to appear. One by one, massive human warships emerged from the void. Their hulls reflected no light, their edges sharp and silent. It was as if the darkness itself had come alive. On every alien bridge, terror struck deep. The commanders realized the truth. The humans had not been defending Earth. They had been waiting, watching, surrounding them. General Alvarez's voice echoed across every alien channel at once. You came here to claim authority, but you will leave with fear. This is Earth's shadow. This is your warning. In the great cities of Earth, people gathered around massive screens. They watched as alien fleets, once symbols of power, floated helplessly, trapped by the human shadow fleets. Cheers roared through the streets. Fear turned to pride. On the Council's worlds, however, panic spread. Merchants refused to send ships. Soldiers deserted. Colonies begged for protection. The mighty Council was shaking. For the first time in history, the galaxy looked at Earth not with laughter, not with arrogance, but with dread, because the shadows were no longer far away. They were everywhere. Humanity's stand. The galaxy had never seen fear spread so quickly. Alien fleets drifted silent in space, their systems dead. Supply lines were cut. Colonies begged for help. And still, the shadows of Earth moved unseen, striking and vanishing like ghosts. The Council tried to keep control. They told their people, "It is only temporary. The humans are weak. Victory is close." But no one believed them anymore. Every new whisper in the markets, every rumor from soldiers said the same thing. The humans are watching. The humans are already here. On Earth, the leaders of humanity met once more in the underground chamber. This time, the room did not echo with arguments. There was no shouting, no panic, only determination. President Patel stood at the round table. His eyes were calm, his voice steady. The Council believes they still hold authority. Today we take that away forever. General Alvarez nodded, her hands resting on the table. The fleets are in position. The Shadow Protocol has been successful. Their lines are broken. Their fleets humiliated. All that remains is the declaration. The envoy stepped forward. Her black uniform caught the dim light. The galaxy waits for our words. If we stay silent, they will think us cowards. If we speak, they will know the truth. Patel's gaze swept the room. Then let us speak. Hours later, across the galaxy, screens lit up. In marketplaces, on ships, in homes, in military bases, the same image appeared, a human face. President Patel. His voice carried through every system, translated into 100 alien tongues. For too long, humanity listened while others claimed authority. We joined the stars in peace. We asked only for respect. And in return, the Council mocked us, threatened us, tried to place chains around our world. His tone sharpened, echoing like thunder. But chains do not bind us. Threats do not silence us, and arrogance does not rule us. Today we declare before every race, every empire, every star, Earth bows to no one. A hush fell across alien worlds. Soldiers in barracks froze. Citizens in cities stared at the screen. Council delegates leaned forward, their faces pale. Patel continued, his eyes like steel. You sent fleets to humble us. We let them live as a warning. You tried to hide our voice. But now, you cannot. The galaxy has seen your weakness. The galaxy has seen our strength. Humanity does not seek war. But if war is forced upon us, we will not break. We will not fall, we will stand. His words grew sharper, each one cutting deeper. This is not a threat. This is a truth. You cannot destroy us. You cannot control us. You cannot stop us. Because we are human. And when we stand, the ground itself trembles. On alien worlds, silence gave way to chaos. Some shouted in anger, some in fear, some in awe. In the council chamber, the speaker slammed its staff desperately, but the sound was hollow. No one was listening anymore. For the first time in centuries, the council's authority was slipping through its claws. Back on Earth, in the command chamber, the leaders watched the transmission spread. General Alvarez turned to Patel. It has begun. The galaxy has heard us. They will never see us the same way again. The envoy's lips curved into a thin smile. The words are only the first strike. Now every empire must choose, stand with the council or stand against it. And when they hesitate, our shadow will remind them of the cost. Patel closed his eyes for a moment, as though feeling the weight of history pressing down. Then he spoke softly, but everyone heard him. Humanity's stand has begun. Far above Earth, in the black sea of stars, fleets stirred. Titan-class warships, colossal carriers, and black destroyers moved into formation. Their engines glowed faintly, ready but restrained. They did not fire, not yet. The galaxy was watching, and the shadows of Earth stretched further with every passing moment. In the streets of New Delhi, New York, Lagos, and Santiago, crowds gathered around massive screens. Children cheered, old veterans saluted, families held each other and whispered, "We are not prey anymore. We are the storm. On alien colonies, however, fear spread like fire. Some whispered of rebellion against the Council. Some spoke of surrender to humanity. A few even dared to ask, perhaps the humans should lead, but the Council was not finished. Pride still burned in their hearts. Already plans for retaliation were whispered in their private halls. Bigger fleets, deadlier weapons, desperate measures. Yet every alien commander who looked at the stars at night now felt a chill, because somewhere out there, unseen, unheard, the shadows of Earth were watching, and they knew humanity would never kneel again. The shaking of the Council. The Galactic Council chamber had once been a symbol of unity and power. Delegates from 100 races sat beneath its vast dome, their voices shaping the laws of the stars. But now, that same chamber echoed with chaos. Shouts overlapped. Accusations filled the air. Some delegates demanded total war, others whispered of surrender. The speaker slammed its crystal staff again and again, but even its shrill voice was lost in the storm. "They cripple our fleets in silence," cried one feathered delegate. "They infect our systems like a disease," shouted another. "They speak and the galaxy listens," hissed a third. For centuries, the Council had been unchallenged, but in only weeks Earth had shaken their foundation. Outside the chamber, alien citizens protested in the streets. Some carried banners demanding war. Others demanded peace. For the first time in living memory, the Council's own people doubted its authority. One protester shouted into the crowd, "If the Council cannot defend us, then why should we obey them?" The word spread like fire. The speaker could feel the cracks widening. Meanwhile, far above the Council's capital world, a shadow moved. The sky darkened as something vast entered orbit. At first, citizens thought it was an eclipse. But then, the shape grew sharper, blocking out the stars. It was not a moon. It was not a station. It was a ship. A Titan-class human warship. Its hull stretched for kilometers, covered in armor so black it swallowed light. Entire cities on the planet below stared upward in silence, their voices stolen by the sheer size of the machine. From orbit, the ship's shadow cast darkness over the Council's capital, drowning its shining spires. On the bridge of the Council's own defense fleet, panic spread. "It should not be possible," one commander screamed. "Nothing this large can travel faster than light." Yet there it was, silent and immovable, a giant among stars. In the Council chamber, alarms rang. The speaker froze as a message came through every channel, overriding their secure lines. The face of General Maria Alvarez appeared. Her uniform was plain, but her presence filled the entire hall. Her words were slow and sharp. "You tried to chain us, you sent fleets to humble us, you mocked our patience, but now you look up and you see the truth." The hologram shifted. The chamber gasped as they saw the Titan-class ship above their world blocking the sun. "This is not our strongest weapon," Alvarez said. "It is only one of many. If we wished, we could erase this city. But we are not here to destroy. We are here to show you the cost of your arrogance." Delegates trembled. Some lowered their eyes. Others shouted angrily, but their voices cracked. The envoy stepped forward on the hologram beside Alvarez. Her tone was colder, quieter, but it carried like steel. "Authority is not claimed by decree. It is earned, and you have lost it." Chamber fell silent. Above the Council's world, the Titan-class ship did nothing. Its guns stayed cold. Its engines hummed softly. It simply floated, unmoving, blocking the skies. And yet, its stillness was louder than any attack. Children in the streets pointed upward in fear. Soldiers stood frozen at their posts, weapons in hand but useless. The entire planet held its breath. Inside the chamber, a delegate from the reptilian empires whispered what many were already thinking. "If this is only one ship, how many more do they have?" Another delegate answered with shaking hands. "Enough, enough to end us all." The speaker tried to rally. "We are the Council. We must not bow." But even its wings trembled. Its voice was no longer command, it was desperation. The truth was clear. The Council no longer held power. Humanity had taken it, not with destruction, but with shadow, patience, and a single ship that blocked the sun. Back on Earth in the command chamber, President Patel watched the live feeds. The Titan-class ship hung silently over the alien capital, and the Council trembled. He turned to his generals. They see us now. They understand what we can do. General Alvarez's eyes were cold. Yes, but this is only the beginning. Their pride will not allow them to kneel yet. And when they strike again, we must be ready to end it. The envoy spoke last, her voice like a final verdict. The galaxy thought authority belonged to the Council. Now they see it belongs to us. And soon the stars themselves will have to decide who they fear more, the shadows or the fire. In the alien capital below, the Titan-class ship remained, unmoving, watching. The Council chamber, once unshaken, now sat under the shadow of Earth. And everyone knew the truth. The Council was no longer the power of the galaxy. They were only its trembling voice, Earth's final word. The Titan-class warship hung in silence above the Council's capital world. Its shadow drowned the city, turning daylight into dusk. For 3 full days it did not fire a single weapon. It only waited, and waiting was worse than war. The Council chamber had become a cage of fear. Delegates no longer shouted in pride. They whispered in panic. Some demanded peace. Others demanded surrender. A few still called for war, but their voices trembled. The speaker's wings drooped low. Its staff shook in its hands. Never before had the Council felt so powerless. On the 4th day, the silence broke. A transmission cut through every channel, military, civilian, encrypted, unencrypted. Across the galaxy, on every world and every port, the same image appeared. The human envoy standing in her black uniform, calm and unyielding. Behind her stood General Alvarez and President Patel. Together, they were the voice of Earth. The envoy's voice was quiet, but it carried to billions. You claimed authority. You thought your decree could chain us. You laughed at our patience. You sent fleets to break us, and now you hide under our shadow. She paused, letting her words strike deep. Across alien worlds, citizens leaned forward, unable to look away. Soldiers gripped their weapons but did not raise them. President Patel stepped forward. His eyes were steady, his voice sharp. Earth does not seek conquest. We do not seek empires. But understand this. We will never kneel. We will never allow chains on our people. Authority is not claimed with words. It is earned with respect. And you have lost it. The chamber of the Council sat frozen. No one dared interrupt. General Alvarez's voice cut in, cold and clear. We showed mercy when we could have shown fire. We crippled your fleets instead of destroying them. We stand above your capital without striking. Do not mistake this as weakness. It is choice. Her eyes narrowed. But mercy has limits. The envoy raised her hand. A new hologram appeared. Not one Titan-class warship. Dozens. Across different sectors, black shadows emerged from the void, revealed for the first time. Each one larger than mountains, each one armed with enough fire to erase worlds. Gasps and cries erupted in the Council chamber. Delegates collapsed in their seats. Others shouted in terror. The speaker dropped its staff, its wings folding in despair. The envoy's voice was like ice. This is the extermination protocol. It was built in silence, hidden while you mocked us. For decades, it waited. You thought us weak. You thought us blind. But we were preparing, and now the galaxy sees. On alien worlds, the images shook the people to their core. The stories of shadow fleets were true. Humanity had not one monster ship, but an armada of giants. Whispers spread in every city. They could end us all. Others whispered something more dangerous. Perhaps they should lead us. President Patel spoke again, his voice heavy with finality. From this day forward, Earth answers to no authority but its own. The Council may remain, but it no longer rules us. If you seek war, you will find only fire. If you seek chains, you will find only ashes. But if you seek respect, you will find it returned. This is humanity's word. And it is final. The transmission ended. In the chamber, silence fell so deep that the sound of a single wing trembling could be heard. The speaker stared at the floor. The council had been broken, not by destruction, but by fear, by respect, by shadows too vast to ignore. One delegate, voice shaking, whispered, "The galaxy belongs to them now." Above the alien capital, the Titan-class warship finally moved. Slowly it turned away, engines glowing, and drifted back into the void. It did not fire. It did not destroy. But the shadow it left behind was greater than any bombardment. Because everyone who looked at the sky that day remembered, Earth could have ended them and chose not to. Back on Earth, crowds filled the streets, cheering and weeping. The people knew history had shifted. They were no longer the newcomers mocked in the council's hall. They were now the storm every empire feared. In the command chamber, the envoy stood beside President Patel and General Alvarez. "We did not win with fire," she said softly. "We won with patience, with shadows, with words." Patel nodded. "And now, the galaxy will never forget." Alvarez's eyes narrowed, her voice sharp. "Let them remember, because if they ever forget, we will remind them." In the farthest corners of the galaxy, whispers grew. Some called it the Age of Shadows. Others called it the Rise of Earth. But all agreed on one truth. The Council had claimed authority, and Earth's reply had shaken the stars.